In this video, we want to now create this pickup message so that we can associate it with this script. So we're going back to our 2D view, and if we can just find the canvas, there it is. So let's just double click so that we zoom out there. And I'm actually just going to drag the game over to this side so that we can see both at the same time. Great. Okay, so back in the assets then, I'm going to go into the graphics folder, and I've got some resources for you. Basically these are just like little icons of hands, but I've given you a few at different sizes, and ones with outlines and without outlines, if you want to use them on your screen. So what I'd like you to do with these, basically, let's just put in the entire folder. So once you've got the folder, let's say on your desktop or whatever, we're just going to drag it into there, little plus sign, and it's just going to import all of those. Now they come in really weird when you do it like this, because normally I package things up and you just put them in. I've already pre-sorted everything. Okay, I'm going to show you how to change these images from just general default textures, which look really weird, to the actual sprite images. Okay, so we're just going to click texture type, and in fact actually the max size here is 2048. As you can see, this one's only 64 by 64, so let's change it to its appropriate size. Okay, 64 default. We're going to change this one to sprite, 2D and UI. As soon as we click apply, everything sorts itself out. Okay, let's do the same ones on the large ones. These are both 64 by 64, so you can change those two and change it to sprite 2D UI. Apply that, they're good. These two are much smaller, they're 32 by 32. Okay, so let's just change these and change them to sprite 2D and UI and apply. Alright, nice. So we've just sorted out the these graphics. Okay, so under the canvas then, we're going to create a new panel. Right click, UI, and panel. Alright, and that's going to surround it like that. And I think we will call this one pickup panel. We want to take the color of this, and we just want to drag its alpha all the way down to 0. Okay, so it's completely transparent. And because this is purely informational, we don't need any raycast. Okay, so we don't need any target or anything like that. So on the pickup panel, we're going to right click UI, and we're going to choose text. All right, now the text appears right in the center there. Now I want both views so that I can see what it looks like in the center, and I can see that that's really, really small. So first of all, I'm going to change the text color to white. Okay, at least it's a little bit more visible now. I'm going to change the font size a little bit. I'm going to click and drag on this until I think it's pretty good. About 25, I think, might be good. I'm going to leave it at Arial for now. You can actually just choose different fonts. We've got a few in there, but you can obviously just add your own fonts into Unity and choose them from there. And then we'll say press E, capital E, to pick up. And in fact, let me put that as lowercase, to pick up item. Let's say. And obviously we can see that it's being clipped off, so we need to go to our rect tool and just make this much bigger. All right, just drag it out so that it actually displays everything. And now we want to add that graphic as well. So where it says text, let me just rename this to pickup text. We need to add that graphic. So on the pickup panel, we're going to right click UI, and obviously we want an image associated with this. Okay, so I'm going to change the name of this image to let's say pickup icon. And the one I'm going to go with is this pickup icon big outline. Just going to drag that in where it says non-sprite. Okay, so we can see it there. And it's not a raycast target. We don't need to click on this item, so let's just uncheck that. And let's put it into position. So we just want it to be roughly about here. Now if you do feel that that's too big, obviously just try it with a smaller one if you feel that it needs to be smaller. And bear in mind you can click set native size in order for it to become smaller. Now that's probably a little bit too small, so I'm going to click this one and set native size, and I think that's much better. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that one. And I've given you ones with outlines and ones without outlines. Okay, have I got the right one there? Yeah, I quite like this one with this slightly blue gradient on it. Just line it up until you think it looks good on the screen there. So what I want to do now is just drag my game panel this way, and this is what it will look like when we're detecting that there is something that we can pick up. So press E to pick up item with a little and icon. I think that looks fine, to be honest. Let's just click on pick up text. We can actually uncheck this raycast target, because once again we don't need to click on this item. And the entire pickup panel, all we're going to do using the script that we've done there is just basically do that. Alright, just click that. Enable and disable there. So let's go back to first person controller, and we can see our pickup script where it says pickup message none. Let's go and find the pickup panel and just drag that into there. Now when we start the game, obviously we don't want this to be active, so we need to switch that off as we start the game, and that will basically be switched on by the text itself. So I've just done a bit of a walkthrough kind of check on my own without including the video here, and I've found out that there are a couple of things that I need to fix. First of all, this pickup script actually needs to be on the main camera, because obviously it needs to be rotating with the camera in order for you to look at the object. So let's just right click. We're obviously on the FPS controller. Let's right click on it and choose copy component. Okay, and then onto the camera main. Right at the top, we're going to right click and choose paste component as new. Alright, and then it appears at the bottom. Now we can go back to our FPS controller. On the pickup script, let's just remove it. So remove component. Now under the camera main, obviously I want to see what's going on with a couple of these things, this private transform, selected and selection. So I'm just going to temporarily set these to public so that we can see them. And I'm just going to save this. Okay, it will update in a second. There we go. So now we've got two selections, and they should be blank to begin with. They will only be populated once we actually get near a target. I'm going to come out of 2D back into 3D, and I need to find one of the pickups. So let's just double click knife pickup. There we go. Now at the moment, this box surrounding the knife is probably too small. This tiny little box. It means that actually displaying the message is very, very difficult. So what we're going to do, on the box collider attached to the knife, we're just going to make this bigger. So where it says size, it's currently 0.08 or so. So we're just going to increase this. We can click and drag on it on the Y as well. Let's just bring it all the way out here, and on the Z. Okay, so now it's much bigger. You've got more of a chance of actually displaying that message now. And obviously we need to do that with all the others as well. So I'm just going to do it with the knife and the baseball bat for now. Okay, so on this one, when I get really close, now this one's way too small, the collider, so let's just change this a little bit. And on the Y, let's just make this much bigger, and on the Z. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm just going to check those two out in the next video to make sure that this is working. Just had to make those small changes to begin with, and if this all works fine, then obviously we will change the axe and the ant gun as well.